All right. So I've started the recording, so it may be that you need to. Sometimes a little box jumps up on your screen somewhere that you have to click OK and get rid of it. And to get the most out of this class, this is your perfect setup. You've got two chairs with the backs facing in. The backs are needing to be high enough that you can place a hand on them. We don't need to be really leaning necessarily, but they're there to keep us safe as we work on weight changing and leg mechanics. So two chairs, backs of those chairs facing in, wide enough to give us some space, close enough that we can get to either of them relatively easily. A third chair of some kind, back from that little frame. So the playground is the space, the empty space in front of us, and then we got the tools surrounding it. Once you've taken a seat, scoot your bottom, your two buttock bones to the front edge of the chair. Place the feet about hip distance or so. Sometimes people have some weakness in the hips and the legs collapse in. So just this act of sitting and getting nice, and then the other thing that happens is people sometimes have one leg that's flailing out or both legs. So the act of placing your legs in neutral position, about hip distance or so. And now we've got our little tripod of sorts of one chair being like a leg, and then your two legs connecting you to the ground. In this case, the chair is our primary pillar. The legs buttress that, so they're part of it, but we're using the chair to get us to the ground. And the pelvis at the edge with the two buttock bones in the chair, now we're able to work on pelvis, spine, neck, and head alignment. So excellent upright posture known as zhongjang, or central upright, central pillar. You have your central pillar intact, and now relax. So the goal in Taoist practice is soft, loose, relaxed. A relaxed, loose body is a functioning body. It's got lubrication, it's got suppleness, it's got pop, as opposed to, let's say, a tight, stuck body or a collapsed body. So this complementary state of both integrity of structure, but also total looseness and suppleness. And the hands on the thighs comfortably, and we breathe. So take the breath in through the nose, long, smooth, and full. This expands and opens and stretches us outward, and then with the exhale, let everything soften and melt, relax, and settle. We do that, let's say 8 times for our class, but on your own, you could pause the video. If you want to watch this video later, pause it and do 20 breaths, 50 breaths to really calibrate your brain, your nerves, especially if there's a lot of symptomatic activity going on, agitation or whatever, that this breathing in and breathing out, relaxing, settling, grounding, we're becoming master of that. Breath, 4 parts to each breath. Inhale, hold full, exhale, hold empty. Inhale, hold, exhale. Continue that 4-part breathing. Your breath could be longer or shorter than someone else's. Doesn't matter. Matters is it feels appropriate to you. Feels like it's something that's helping bring your mind from wherever it might be chattering, distracted. Each breath that you complete just kind of grounds you, settles you, and helps you be in your body. Let's take about 5 more. Now we're going to do some seated joint mobilization work before we stand up and work on specific standing balancing movements. We have to get the body organized, loosened, and sort of get the relationship set. So, first movement. Slide your hands back, elbows back, and shoulder blades back. Open up through the front of your body. Lift your chest, lift your chin. So you're doing a back bend with the spine. And then the complementary movement here, hands go forward past your knees, the chest hollows back, and you drop your head and round your back. And we're going to do that again. Slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up. Do this with an inhale if you can. And then with the exhale, do the other movement. Chest hollowing back as you slide the hands forward, drop your head and round your back. Let's do that 3 more times. Again, you could do this more times on your own. Pause the video if this feels really good. But these classes are built to really just give you tools. So this is a tool, what they call in Taoist practice, Shen Fa, which means body mechanism method. So we're taking a mechanism, really a set of joints that all work together like a mechanism to round and arch. This helps keep a healthy spine, a healthy back, healthy posture. And we don't want to have the body stuck in any of these shapes. We need to be able to shape shift. We have to shift into this arch position and then smoothly transition all the way into its opposite. Right? That's how we would diagnose the state of your Shen Fa, the state of your mechanisms. Are you stuck anywhere? Is there anywhere that you can't go or can't get to? And after you finish that last nice back bend, then settle to the middle position, back to Zhongjang or central upright. Now the second Shen Fa, left hand forward past your knee, right hand and elbow pull back, turn your shoulders and head to the right. So this is rotation, twisting. And we inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turn the other way. Right hand forward, left hand back. Twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Let's continue that. And then back to center. Third Shen Fa in this little set. Arms hang. Shift the weight over to your right buttock and side bend. From here, lift your left wrist in this particular way, close to your body. Elbow floats out, hand floats up. And that allows us to tip just a little bit more, and we can even free this foot. So you want to teeter-totter off to the side, and then come back to the middle. And then we teeter-totter off to the left, float this wrist up, elbow up. And that's just really to keep it from pulling and hanging down on this side. So we get it up here so we can teeter-totter. And then we go tall. And then lean. So we're changing weight, right buttock to left buttock. We're side bending or lateral flexion and extension of the spine. Notice the head free to move. Right? So a lot of times we're so accustomed to using this for our equilibrium, people can't let go of the head. So try to be able to let go of your head a little bit so the equilibrium is more supple, more adaptable. And in the chair, we get a chance to be pretty safe. And so we can flirt with disaster. You can get to that edge, get to that edge, get to that edge, almost fall out of the chair and don't. And we're training our middle pivot point right here, represented at the belly button, deep to the body. That's our middle. and then arms down. Now again, why do we do shoulder blade work for gait and balance? Well, if we're tight in our shoulders and upper body, it basically makes us top heavy. So it makes us less grounded. So we have to clean out this area, this mechanism. So shoulder blades shrug up and down, right? That's one of their movements. And then the other movement is squeeze back and separate. That's called protraction and retraction. They squeeze back, which opens here. And then when they separate, it kind of hollows here. So we put all that together for the circle. Forward, up, back, down. This is your first time doing this. This will be a little weird for your brain. Your brain won't quite know how to execute that movement, but then soon enough, it just feels very natural, right? And it cleans out density, heaviness, weight. So Chris, get those shoulders moving. Forward, up, back, down, right? Like you've seen these now for a while, so hopefully they're starting to sink in what the exercise is, so you don't have to stare at the screen so intently. You can focus on your shoulders, getting them moving, right? The most important part of this movement is after you cycle all the way through, you let them go loose. Forward, up, back, down, and you let them go loose, so you're not holding density. Now reverse that movement. Let's go back and up, forward and down, loose. Back, up, forward, down, loose. Back, up, forward, down, loose. Two more. And again, we have to do this type of work. People often think, oh, I got to get better at balance and walking. We got to just do standing exercises, and it's just not the case. The body has to be looked at as a interconnected vehicle, because that's what it is. It's not just about feet or just about legs. It's about hips and back and shoulders and neck. All of that it gets involved with how grounded we are, how balanced we are, how much equilibrium we have. And then our last one in our shoulders here, bend the elbows, flare the elbows out and up, and then bring them down and in. Touch the elbows together. Down, out, and up. Down and in. One more. Down, up. And notice how my elbows are up high, because the arms can internally rotate at the shoulder. There's this rotation piece here. Down, and then external rotation. Touch them together. Then we go elbows back, straight back, down, forward, up. Right? So this shape here. You see what I'm doing here. Elbows forward. Point your elbows straight ahead. Right? That could be your whole position there, Sarah, or you can go a little higher, or a little higher, and just see how it's possible to get it to where your elbows point straight up, and that's because this mechanism, the scapula, will have been freed to move. So we're getting movement in the deep mechanisms, and then you come down and back, yep, and then down, forward, up. So the basic understanding of how to take care of our body is that our body's made up of mechanisms, and so the proper use of all the mechanisms upkeeps and trains the brain and body and keeps everything functioning as best as possible. Elbows down. Last one in this little set. Elbows out. Now one high, one low. We wrap. All right, so take one hand around the side, other hand around the side, and then we open. So this opens all this space. And then when we do this, we have to close. So there's a hollow, a drop around, a closing in front, and then an opening in front, and then a closing, and then an opening, one more, closing, and opening. Hang the arms. Now the legs, before we stand up, just a couple of things with the legs. Scoot a little bit back on your chair. Take your right knee up, and then draw the right foot in. So you see this loading, and then pushing, and then loading, and then down. Other leg. Lift and load it in, push away, load it in, and down. So it's non-weight bearing, but we're working the whole functioning power mechanism of the leg. Loading, pushing, loading, down. Other leg, push, load, down. Switch, load, push, load, and down. Now, float your right leg out, point and flex. Three basic functions of the foot, pointing and flexing. And then tilting in, tilting out, known as inversion, eversion. And then circles. And reverse circles. Switch. Point and flex. Tilt in, tilt out, tilt in, tilt out. Inversion, eversion. And circles. And reverse the circle. Now, scoot forward on your chair once more to that front edge. One more thing with the legs. Step your feet wider apart than hip distance. Lift the toes up and the heels stay on the ground. Turn. So you see this internal rotation at the hips, the knees turn in, the toes turn in. And then lift your toes and turn out. So this junction in the body right here in the hips and groin called the quad, mechanics-wise, is really important for balance, for agility, for turning, for moving forward and backwards adeptly. So we can't be stuck here and think that we're going to stand up and feel able to adjust and move. So we're just opening and closing this mechanism, internal rotation and external rotation. And then back to neutral. Now from that same mechanism, the legs don't move, but the pelvis folds. Hinge forward. So really important here. Because people all across, I work with people of all ages, but especially in the upper age range, and it's just this mechanism getting shut down that creates a lot of limitations to standing up, sitting down, getting something off the floor, getting down to the floor. So this middle mechanism, go ahead and sit back up, and let's also add this tip back. So you tip back a little bit from the hips, and then tip forward at the hips, and then sit upright and tip back at the hips, and tip forward at the hips, right? Now we got that all loosened up and lubricated. Now hang your arms loose. Shoulders are loose from those circles we did, right? This is all the idea behind what we're doing. Now to stand up, just notice something. My center of gravity is currently here on the ground. My feet are about, 8 inches, a foot forward from there. So I cannot just stand straight up, right? I can't do that. So that's why, in order to stand up, we fold, and my middle has to go forward first. Now my center of gravity is down through the ground, through the feet. So now standing up is a cinch. Standing up is easy. So I notice that's what gets people in trouble, is they are afraid to do that forward thing. Now also in sitting down, the butt has to go back. But the problem problem is if my butt goes back but my upper body goes with it, then I feel like I'm going to fall. So it's just a simple gesture of fold. So just do this movement for a second. Stick your butt back, let your arms be loose, and let your upper body tip forward. So now the butt is behind the ankles, the upper body's a little in front of the ankles, and then stand back vertical. So I got a straight line to the ground, and then I'm going butt back, but upper body allowed to tip forward, and so I'm keeping equilibrium. Now fold at the hips and sink, 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 sink. The weight is still down through your legs, and then you find the chair, and then once you can feel the chair in your buttocks, then you commit back to the chair and the feet are empty. So the most important part of standing up is not effort and force. It's technique. It's folding and flooding yourself forward. Now I'm above the feet. So now I just push down through the ground and then sitting down, same idea. It's about technique, being soft, hip hinging right at the hip crease, and then keep hip hinging. So I'm folding my body in half at the hips. My knees bend as a consequence of that. And then I find the chair with my booty and commit to the chair. Right? So we're always needing to know where we're being grounded. So right now I'm grounded through the chair, but as I fold and come forward, now I'm grounded through the feet. So I've addressed that groundedness, and then even as I straighten up, we're still relaxed enough to let there be grounding down through the feet. Let's do that one more time. And eventually, when you get this mechanism good, it can happen quickly. It can just be fold and sink, right? So that's fast, but it doesn't have to be rush with a bunch of tension. Same thing with standing up. I can even, if I really have the feeling, I can just flow forward. So you might give that a try. Just kind of flow forward, but keep that idea that the primary direction is down through the feet. Now we're standing. Now do a couple of these where you don't sit in the chair. You fold, you sink, but don't sit down. Just dangle your arms down. Try to touch the shins, the feet, maybe the floor, and then come all the way back up to tall. And we'll do it again. Hip hinge, folding the body, kind of like a fetal position. We're letting the body fold up, and then we're unfolding all the way tall. One more. Fold and let it all fold up and tall. All right. Now, if you set yourself up like I had you set up, you've got this chair on your right. Now, keep the chair behind you if you have room for it, because you may, lose your balance or something. You want to have that chair for you. But we've got the chair on the right and the chair on the left. And we want to be a little bit back from the chair. From here, first exercise, facing forward, no hands, loose and relaxed. Now you recognize a couple things. Middle pivot. So go ahead and just touch your belly button. Just touch it. And even press gently into it, and have the idea that you're going straight back with your awareness to the middle between your belly button and your lumbar spine. So right in that place in the middle there is our middle pivot. That's our functioning middle pivot. So we have a single point here, and then we have two legs. So in Tai Chi they say separate, empty, and full, or yin and yang. Separate. So right now I'm stuck together. I've got two legs and one middle, but I'm basically double weighted. I'd have to pick this leg up and force it. But what happens if we shift a little bit like so and let the weight go down all the way through one leg? Now this leg is no longer being used, so it's empty. And then shift over so that you're putting the weight down through just your left leg. So now your right leg is empty. So without even picking the leg up off the ground, I'm changing its status from full to empty and back to full again from this middle pivot. And there you can see that there's some lateral shift happening, right? But what people get in trouble with is they go too far usually. They go too far and now they're over their leg. What they say in Tai Chi is the primary direction is down. So I have to be soft in this leg. I'm not stiff in the leg. I'm soft in the leg. So it's like a bed spring. So you take your weight over to one leg and then you let it be a little bit soft and it takes the weight. Now see if you can do a little bit of this. Can you free one foot so that it's like a air hockey puck? It's floating on the ground a little bit. And then change. This is that first exercise that helps us find separating empty and full. We go, okay, empty, full, or mountain, cloud. And if you're very practically, let's say you're out standing in line at a coffee shop or you're standing at a stoplight waiting for it, a lot of times what people do is they lock up and they hold on to their body and then it's time to walk and their mechanics are bad. So this is some secret Tai Chi you'd be doing. You're standing in line and you're going, okay, I'm in one leg and this one's empty. And then this leg gets a little tired, so you switch and you're just doing Tai Chi all the time. And then if it comes time to take a step, this foot is free to step and move. Second exercise, put the weight down through your left leg and with your empty foot, lift to the tippy toe. So notice I just let my knee bend, my heel lifted, I got all the way to the tippy toe, and then place the heel back down, change the weight into that leg, and now this other leg is empty, go to the tippy toe on that, place the heel down, change the weight. Get to the tippy toe, down, change. Tippy toe, down, change. Now again, you could do that a lot more. We're going to move to the next exercise. Hand on chair for this one, where you go tippy toe, disconnect a little bit from the ground, just a little bit. This is a moment of truth. You think the foot's empty, but then when you actually go to disconnect, usually there's this, whoa. So we want to challenge that in the correct dosage. Place the foot down, change the weight. First get to your tippy toe, and then can you disconnect it just a little bit from the ground? Place the foot down. Usually people are in a rush to pull the foot up, but they miss this part, the Tai Chi part of let the weight go out and down, and then this becomes free. And then change. Tippy toe, disconnect. And at some point you might try this one, no hands, or you have hand on chair the whole time. Whichever is fine. But keep the idea of central pillar, middle pivot, separate empty and full. Fourth exercise. Hand on chair for this one. For sure, we go tippy toe. Now, lift the leg all the way up to its full lift. Use the chair for safety so you can fully blaze this trail mechanism open. Get the knee up, and then take the leg all the way down and repeat on that same leg. So we're standing in this one, and we're going full lift and whole foot to the ground. Full lift, whole foot to the ground. Same leg. Full lift and switch. Now put all the weight into the leg we were just opening. Now that's the mountain. The other leg. Full lift, down. And watch my leg here from the side. Notice how it's not way out here with a bunch of stiffness. It's folded up, kind of like a bird wing. It folds up and down. So that's, again, this softness, this relaxed quality that we want to cultivate that allows this function to be easy. Up, down. Down. Now, alternate. Weight down through one leg, full lift, down, switch. Full lift, down, switch. The weight going down allows a safe lift. The weight stays down even as I put this down. Then I switch. Weight stays down so this can lift, stays down so this can lower, and switch. One more each. Up, down, switch. next set of exercise. Make sure the chair is in front of you and to your right. So I am your mirror. So this is my left hand, but you want to be on your right so that what I'm saying, the words that I'm saying, I'll be saying right when it's your right and I'm doing my left. So anyway, I'm your mirror. So now we put the weight in your left leg, your leg that's far away from this chair. And this empty foot, put it in front just a close distance. So we start with a small stance, just like this. So this foot's empty, the heel is touching, mountain, cloud. Now the weight goes down. Notice how you moved forward. You didn't have to lean forward or lurch forward. Just by going down through the leg, your body advanced in space. And then just by going down through the leg that's behind you, your body retreated through space. This is an important thing about how to move around correctly, is that we don't want to be pitching forward, going, oh, I'm moving forward now, and getting ahead of ourselves. We want to just be meditating, just hanging out and go down, 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 down. So this is the best exercise to work on. No hands. And separate empty and full while moving forward in space and backwards in space. A key part of this is committing. Commit yourself down through one leg so the other one can be empty. So you're not stuck back in it. Same thing here. We got to commit down through this leg. Let the body move through space. Commit and commit. Because what I notice people do is they put the weight down here, but they stay back here, and they're sort of half in the bag, half out of the bag. We have to let the body move together. Let the body move together. Now, second level of this. Hand on chair. This leg empty, lift from the hip. A little straight leg lift. Lower the heel to the ground and change your weight. Now this back leg, like a flamingo, little bend to the knee, toe down, and retreat. Lift, lower, down through the front leg, advancing. Lift and lower. This lift and lower does a couple things, but one of the main ones it does is really test. It's a moment of truth to say, how grounded are you really? How empty is this really? And then down here, how much did you really commit? Right. And then lastly, hand on chair for sure, so we can go lift, down, shift. And then this back leg forward and up, back with no weight, shift. The weight being down allows a safe lift, lower, advance, and then forward and up, back, retreat. One more. So it's emptiness. Emptiness that gives something function, relaxation, right? Switch sides. So we go over to the other chair. Now you got your left hand on the chair here. Put the weight in your right leg and put your left foot in front. And we go down. So level one, we're not leaving the ground with either foot. So you can practice no hands on anything, right? If you feel comfortable. Just going shift, shift. And you just remember the mantra, the primary, most important direction is down. Even when I'm moving forward, it's really down. And backwards, it's really down. Down. And how do I get down? I let go. So I release and commit down to the ground. Release and commit down. One more. Now, hand on the chair so you can practice lift, lower, shift, and then like a little flamingo, lift, lower, shift. Someday maybe no hands on this one, but stay safe. Again, you have to let your body advance in space. And at first, that's a scary feeling I notice for people. It's this thing of trying to control to keep the equilibrium, but you have to relax and let there be free floating, advancing, and retreating. Now, hand on chair, let's go full lift, down, shift. So you advance. Now you stay grounded where you are, lift, and return. I'm still just right where I am. And then when I change the weight, that's when the retreat happens. The lift and the lower, there's no change of where I am. But then when I commit, that's advancing and retreat. Advance. All right, let's take it a step further. Go back to your first side. Set up like the first exercise. Put all the weight in your left leg. Put your right foot in front. So get the chair on your right side again. So change sides. This side where you have your support. Right foot should be in front. Your right foot in front. Now we go shift, step, shift. Then we retreat, step, retreat. And then we advance, step, advance. And then retreat, step, retreat. As you get more comfortable with the idea of down being the key, then you can eventually get this to flow so it feels like you're just gliding. Right? You're just gliding because you're going down, down, and the body advances smoothly. And then down, down. And then level 2. Hand on chair. Lift, lower, shift. Now step over something. Pick up that foot, step it over, down, and then shift. Flamingo. Down. And then retreat. Now this one, make sure you stay grounded through the leg you're standing on, even as you reach that back. Then retreat. So it's lift and lower. Change. Step over. Change. Flamingo. Change. Reverse step. Change. Let's do that once more. And then finally, level 3 on this is full range. So we go lift, lower, shift. And now this exaggerated range of bent knee, knee to chest, foot out, lower the leg. So it's just really freeing the mechanism and then commit to this leg. And then it's up, back, shift. Now we do the full range. So we're training our middle pivot to remain in equilibrium with all of these changing, moving parts around it. So stability, counterintuitively and paradoxically, equilibrium, functional equilibrium is from freedom of movement rather than holding on to everything. It's the opposite. It's everything being free and loose that gives us internal equilibrium. Let's do that on the other side. So a little side step to your other chair. Level 1. Great one to practice no hands. We go weight in your right leg, left foot in front, and it's shift, step while it's empty, and then shift. Middle pivot, separate empty and full. So mountain and cloud, step the cloud, and then make that one the mountain, and this is the cloud from here. Shift, step, shift. Shift back, step back, shift back. And remember, back really is down. Down, step, down. Down, step. One more. What's really important about getting the down right, the ground right. Now, hand on chair here. We're going to go lift, lower, shift. This leg being a cloud, it can step over something out in front and then commit to it. So now it's the mountain. This is the cloud, so you can flamingo. And then commit to that leg. That's the mountain. The cloud now can float, bend, step, and then commit to that. Lift, lower, commit, step, commit, commit, vert. One. What's really important about getting to the ground is that you're gonna be gotten to the ground. You're gonna go to the ground one way or the other, right? So if I go correctly through my legs, then I can retain my uprightness. As long as I go, okay, yeah, I'm appropriately grounded and still appropriately grounded. If I lose this, I don't fly away. What happens is I go to the ground some other way, right? That's falling. Falling is the reality of grounding and gravity. So that's really what we're training, is to say, oh, how do I address this primary concern of ground and gravity and downness, right? Now, third variation, hand on chair, full lift, full lower. So relaxed body, everything flows through us to the ground. Hey, I'm grounded. I'm still grounded. I'm still grounded. The moment I lose that ground, that's where problems could occur. But if I keep the ground, then I can do all kinds of interesting things like yoga poses and Tai Chi movements and athletic movements and stairs and hiking and everything, as long as you understand how to stay grounded, still grounded, still grounded. And the feet are a primary thing we use to ground when we walk, but think of a handstand or a headstand or a side plank and all these different yoga poses. We're still just changing how we're grounding. So we just have to always keep in mind, how am I grounded? Grounded through my butt when I'm sitting, grounded through my feet, grounded through my knees, grounded through, how are we grounded? So just keep that always in your mind when we get ready to go traveling, walking. So now, let's put all that together. Come to the left side of your space. Again, if you're set up like I have set up, you get the most out of the class, because everything's built around the setup. Now we're at this far end and we got a runway out in front. Let's take 5, 6 steps forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you experience how down, step, down, how down is all you got to get right. Just get the down right. Get that sensation of, you know what, the Taoists were correct. Down is important. Down is the most important. Then you start to say, well, then how do I get down there? And that's where the relaxation is key, because then you just don't hold a bunch of tension and density. You're just smooth, you're liquid, fluid, jazzy. Right? And you then, let's say it took us 5 or 6 steps to get across. Let's see if you can do it in 4, 3, or 4. How do you do that? Do you tighten up and really try for it? No. You relax more and just loosely step a little further, right? So you step a little further, but still it's down. Step a little further, down. Step a little further, down, down. So now you're covering more ground. Ideally, you're still very relaxed. You feel a stillness and an equilibrium on the inside, right around that belly, low back area. And then you're just gliding forward and gliding backwards. Loose, relaxed, I'm grounded, I'm grounded, I'm grounded. All right, now, that was just forward and backwards. Let's do our lateral movements, our side walking, which has value in many different ways, but we'll just do it. Won't have to talk about it too much. The way we start is facing forward at the far left side of your runway. We're going to go to the right. So you put all your weight in your left leg. Right leg is empty. Step it out, but notice when I stepped out, I didn't get pulled with my leg. I stepped, but I stayed grounded here. So I'm still grounded through this side, and then this foot is free to go out, in, right? So we're going out, in, out. Now leave it out. Change the weight down through your right leg, your left leg empty, and then reverse. Go down through your left leg, right leg empty. Notice how your body is moving a good distance in space. You're traveling sideways, but you're not leaning and then leaning. You're just relaxed and going side, side, but really side is just down, down. So we're opening up. Remember we did those swivel movements, the internal rotation and external rotation to open the hips. This is a great place to feel how, oh yeah, if these hips are open, suddenly you can actually move over here and then move over here without even leaving the ground. You're just grounded here, grounded here. Now stay in your right leg. Let's go left foot in, out, in, out. I'm established here. So now this is free. So it can be quick. Right? Now bring that foot in as close together as you can, possibly even touching. And then we find, okay, the hips are closed, but you can still change to this leg, so this foot is empty. And then change to this leg, so this foot is empty. And then change, empty, change, empty, change. Now let's travel. Stay down through your left leg, step the empty right foot out, then traveling, step your left foot in. Change, step the right foot out. Travel, step. Empty, full. Empty, full. Empty, full. Other way. So the one leg creates fullness, gives us stability, which frees the other foot to have mobility and levity. And yet inside is a sense of equilibrium. Almost like we're carrying a cappuccino cup on the head and not spilling it. We're just floating across the room. There and back again. Travel. The more relaxed, the more open everything is. The more open, the more instantaneous grounding here becomes, and then I can step in. So then I could obey the Tai Chi law and move across the room fast. Almost like I'm doing salsa dance or Zumba, right? It's the freedom here that allows this function. But we initially slow down to find all those little nooks and crannies, right? And then I want to do I want to finish today with advanced Tai Chi, or beginning level advanced Tai Chi. So this is the first advanced Tai Chi movement that we do. If this is your first class, Sarah, I think it is, you won't, I don't think you'll know this, because on Friday we do the upper body Tai Chi stuff, so that's what happens on Friday. But this first one is So feet are hip distance or so. Change weight left and right like we did a moment ago. But what we add to this is as you go to your right leg, turn. Turn from this pivot. And then shift to your left leg, followed by turning to the left. Stay turned to the left as you shift to the right leg, and then turn to the right. So this middle mechanism and legs is shift and turn. Now what the arms will do naturally is what's called the bear washes its paws in the stream. Shift, turn. This hand does what's called brush knee, the palm facing that way. This hand does sweep the leg across. And then they change jobs. So they turn around, and then it's shift and turn from the middle pivot, and then brush, sweep. So this is beginning Tai Chi that we do on Friday, because we're not stepping anywhere. We're not walking forward, backwards, or turning. But now we turn it into beginning advanced Tai Chi where we go, okay, we're here, left leg is empty, step it in, turn the hands. Now, change the weight to the left leg and turn, brush, and sweep. Now the hands are over here, the right leg should be empty, step it, empty. Then it's shift and turn, brush knee, sweep the leg. As that left leg is empty, bring it in. And then the weight goes down through the left leg as you turn, brush, and sweep. And then you step right foot out, and we're ready to shift, turn, brush, and sweep. So now we're doing Tai Chi while walking. Step in, shift, turn, brush, sweep. Step out. And so in the Friday class, you get more comfortable with all these hand and arm movements, and then we blend them together with movement, with steps. And that's what Tai Chi is. So the second movement is, let's just do it a few times. This hand's going to do brush knee. This hand comes up around chest height, and it's called swat the jumping fish. Brush knee and swat the fish. And then they change. One is low, one is high. And then they change. One is low, one is high. Now let's add the walk. So you go to your left leg. As your hands are changing, can you simultaneously step in and then change the weight to the right leg, turn, brush knee, and swat the fish? As the hands are changing, can you step out, shift, turn from your middle, brush knee low, swat fish high? As the hands are changing, bring the right foot in. From your middle pivot, go down through this empty leg, down through the leg, turn, brush knee, swat the fish. So now everything's over here. As the hands change, you step. So we're separating, but staying grounded through here. And then we're ready to go shift and turn, brush, swat. And as the hands change, bring the foot in. Shift and turn, brush, swat. As the hands change, step out. Shift, turn. Change. Step in. Shift, turn. Change, step out. Remember what I said, that point that sort of paradoxically, equilibrium and stability is found through freedom of movement. Let's go there and back again one more time. Shift and turn, brush and swat, step in. So the freedom to change full to empty and empty to full, back and forth, the freedom of movement to turn all the way this way, and then what was high goes low, what was low goes high, what was in goes out. So this practice of Tai Chi, of yinning and yanging around the middle pivot, is what we're doing. Freedom of movement, freedom of ability to transform one into its opposite. What was empty is full, what was full is empty, and then we got to be able to change that again. And change it again. So at first we run into all of our stuck glue, all of our residue, all of the places that we're like, I can't flow through there. But then as you practice and practice, you just wash it out. And then there's just this lovely quality of freedom, ease, relaxed yet powerful, potent. And really, you can just freestyle. Like if you lose track of what the hands are doing, don't stress out about it. Of course, there's specifics, but really it's about moving and changing. And really, a high level of practice is all different kinds of permutations of movement, right? So, advanced Tai Chi has all of this activity going on. But initially, we're just trying to calibrate high and low, empty and full, left and right, and settle back to middle. We do what's called shogun, wings. Turn your palms up, roll over top, settle down belly. And settle your arms. And have a seat in your chair. Have a seat in that chair. And we just finished with a light massage of the lower legs. So once you're sitting, just give your thighs a rub, give your knees a rub, around to the buttocks, the tail, the lower back. So we just put those through a bit of a workload. And we just tell them to not get stuck, right? This emphasis in Taoist understanding of the body is throughness or flow. So anywhere we feel pain, it's usually because there's impingement of something, some tissue, some joint, something. And so we just go to those places and promote throughness and flow behind the knees, sides of the knees, fronts of the knees, shins, ankles. And then we do the arms, up the outer arm to the shoulder, turn that palm up, down the inner arm and off. Up the outer, down the inner. Outer. Switch, up the outer, down the inner. And then hands on your thighs. Find your upright posture. And let's just finish with 10 long, smooth breaths so that everything we've stirred up comes to settle. In through the nose, long, smooth, and full. Nose or the mouth. All right, folks, thank you so much. If there are any thoughts or questions of any kind, feel free to unmute yourself because everyone's muted at the moment.